Previously on Gears.
Okay, listen, let's turn our attention to the world of automobiles and cars. Of course, we have the incredibly well
Careful.
versed and incredibly brilliant Spike the car guy, Spikey Ballantyne, of course, joining us in the studio. Hello, Spikey. We missed you last week
Hello, Sasha.
while you were dragging there on a Dalton.
Hello, Daisy.
Hello, Spike. I'm
You know
so
what?
glad you didn't injure yourself today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you very much. Enough of that. Tarleton missed Daisy. They wanted to know where she was. They really want to get her there.
They want to get her onto the track.
Onto the track there.
Put
Onto
her
the
with
drag
a
strip.
With a bit of nitrous.
Yeah, a little bit.
No,
And
guys,
those
stop.
the Christmas tree, what lights up there.
Yeah, they
red, yellow, green. Go. Yeah, and then deploy the parachute after
Yeah,
a quarter
there we
mile.
go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
skittering
It was
fun.
good fun, I must be
I'm
honest.
sure it is.
Yeah.
Dalton always good fun.
Yeah, and very well rubbered in surface, which made some of the pull-offs a bit difficult. But otherwise, yeah, quite a successful performance shootout. We went after that. We disappeared to Leidenberg.
Oh, I love those roads.
Yo, there was some. We did a pass called the Robbers Pass, which is kind of Leidenberg Pilgrim's Rest.
Yes.
And if you survive the potholes on the way there, it's fantastic.
Yes.
But we did have one injury.
Ow.
The lead Golf GTI got a bit of a puncture after it hit.
Oh.
It's not really a pothole; it's more like a crater.
A crater,
Yeah,
yes.
and there's lots of them.
like
lots
a
and lots.
meteor crater.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
That was terrible.
the rest of Robbers Pass was really good. So yeah, good fun.
Do you race cars?
No, I don't race
Do you
cars
just
yet.
drive the nice ones?
Yeah, I just
Drives
drive.
all of them.
Drive all, whether they're nice or not. I just drive all of them.
No,
Yes.
because you're always driving these fancy cars.
Not always. Most of the time, I have
Most of
some
the
very
time
nice
he's-
cars.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I
He's
have
lucky,
Chinese
yeah.
cars.
Yeah, sometimes he has a Chinese
Yeah,
car.
yeah. I
Are
just
they
don't.
bad?
The last one I drove was actually pretty good.
Really?
Well, it was scarily good, actually.
That scares
The
me.
Chinese are coming.
Oi, 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 oi. Okay, Spikey, let's start off with a car that has just been revealed. It's not in SA yet,
No.
but it's been revealed, and it also has one of the strangest names when
Yes.
it comes to a vehicle.
Yes, well, in the annals of odd car names, this has to rank up right up there. It's the Nissan Qashqai.
Yeah, and does anyone know what that means?
Qashqai. I don't think it means anything, to be honest. I think it's just one of those made-up flipping, let's call it a Qashqai because it sounds cool.
All right, now the previous Qashqai, or the current Qashqai, is proved very, very successful.
It is one of their most popular vehicles, yes.
Is it?
And
Okay.
the new one, there's a lot of effort's going to go into the new one because it has to follow up from what has turned out to be a very popular choice. So in terms of the new Qashqai that will be released, I would imagine sometime next year in South Africa. I don't have a firm date for that. They've done all the usual things. It's slightly longer, it's slightly lower, it's a little bit wider.
I saw a picture of it today, Spike,
Yes.
across the interwebs,
Yes.
and it looks remarkably similar
Yes.
to the current Qashqai.
Well, they have to do that because they can't take something that works so well and then say, actually, screw it, we're going to change the looks completely because then people will get upset. So it's the same with any of these guys. BMW the same with the series. BMW never departs too far from the 3 Series.
Yes.
Because the 3 Series look is because it's their bread and butter. So they earn a lot of money from the car. So don't piss off the people by changing it too drastically because then you lose sales.
Chickens.
Yes.
Chickens.
Although in Nissan's defense, I will say that not a lot of their cars, some of the cars that they've released over the last few years, the Murano being one of them, the 370Z being another, the production versions were pretty close to the concept that they came out with.
Very much so.
So, and I quite like that about Nissan is that they show something on concept and they go, this is what we're going to do, and they don't change it very much. Where a lot of guys will put things out in concept with the most fantastic looking cars, and then when it makes it to production, they're pretty ordinary.
It doesn't look it. I must tell you, at gyms, just to go back, in the Nissan stand, they had a concept car which is very much Murano based
Yes.
as well, like
Yeah.
the previous one.
Yeah.
And that, I think, if they had to do that, would also be something very,
Yeah,
very
I
special.
forget the name of that thing, but
Yeah.
I do know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Very, very pretty
the
car.
gold thing.
Yes.
Okay, so Nissan Qashqai coming soon, and then the Navara Safari.
Yes, so this is quite cool because what they've done is
Wow.
they've tailored a Nissan Navara, which is a pretty competent off-road machine, the four-wheel drive, and they've basically made one available in South Africa that's kind of kitted out for Safari. It's called the Navara Safari, and it's got things like Safari branded carpets.
Oh, are they brown?
I presume so, yes, because they don't show up the dirt. They've got seat covers, nudge bar. They've got new spotlights on the nudge bar. They've got a rubberized load box with a tonneau cover. They've got underbody protection plates for the engine, the gearbox, and the transfer case. They've got rock sliders which protect the side sills, and it's got a removable tow bar, which comes in handy if you want to tow something, because the Navara can tow up to 3 tons, which is not a small amount.
That is very impressive.
Yeah.
Because I think there must be, Bren, there must be this terrific war going on with the original Toyota Hilux. You got the Nissan Navara, and now you got the Ford Ranger. Because that car, that truck, or bucky, whatever you want to call it, that thing is spectacular.
Yeah, not forgetting the Volkswagen Amarok.
Oh, and the Amarok as well.
And this is the interesting thing, I think, from my point of view, that if you look at the Ranger and the Amarok versus the Hilux, and to a lesser extent the Navara, because the Navara is pretty up to date, and it's quite a comfortable and quite a modern thing. But if you look at the Amarok and the Ranger specifically, those are buckies but with sedan interiors basically.
Yes.
I mean, they're fully spec'd, they're comfortable,
amazing.
they're big, they got leather and they got Bluetooth and they got auxiliary ports and blah blah blah. And I think when the next Hilux comes out, which won't be for a while yet, that's going to have to compete on that scale. They have to step up now and say, actually, it's no longer just a pure utility vehicle. People in the city are buying these things. I mean, I got a good friend of mine who's a corporate banker. His next car is an Amarok. He's got no intention of going off-road ever. In fact, if he did, it would be scary. He wants an Amarok because it's a cool car.
Well, one of my mates got the Ford Ranger.
Yeah.
And I tell you, you just sit there and look at it and go, wow. And you get inside it. I mean, as you say, it's like a really, pretty good sedan.
Yep.
Interior.
Very well spec'd. So
very nice.
That's Safari. The manual is 490 grand. The auto is 496,000 rand.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice one. Like to see a spec of that.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to a car that you were at the launch of last week. And I saw it at Jim's, and it's the Range Rover Sport.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know you want to say you're looking like you want to say something.
No, I'm very interested to hear, because you see, you've driven it and you went to the launch and all of that. I just saw it and sat in it.
What don't you like about it?
The rear seats, I don't like. That you can't fit a dwarf in it. I didn't find the space enough in the rear, even with the seat fully forward.
Are you talking about the Sport now?
Yes, the Sport, not the proper, the real Range
Rover. Genuine,
yes. Like the real Range Rover.
Yeah.
I just still think it is a waste of time. That's my personal opinion. If you got the cash, buy the proper Range Rover, or you know what, then go and buy a Land Rover, big Defender or whatever they called.
The Range Rover Sport, we drove there's a new motor in that car. It's a 3-litre V6 supercharged, which is the one we drove. And I will say straight off that the motor wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be. It was fine. It kind of handled the car's weight, and it was really adequate. But it wasn't, the 5-litre supercharged is a very special engine, and not just because it's uberly powerful, but because it just it makes that car feel really good. And I don't think the V6 measures up. Even if you take the power into consideration, it's just not as nice an engine. But the car itself is very good, and Range Rover themselves are coming out and all over their PR stuff. They're saying it's the fastest, most agile and responsive Land Rover ever.
Land Rover,
Land Rover, Range Rover, same thing.
Okay,
really.
yes.
So what they're doing is they're punting it as more on the dynamic side by the looks of things, and part of the launch was that we took it on a dynamic handling track. So we did some tests, some ABS braking, some collision avoidance, and it is very good. There are a lot of electronics, understandably, to manage all that weight. So you can feel those electronics working, but they do work. And the thing is surprisingly agile. It's quick off the line. It's surprisingly agile through some corners. If you want to push it, obviously it's not going to overcome the laws of physics, and you can push it too far. But the electronics do a very good job of managing the weight and managing the car, and actually giving it quite a sporty drive. And it's a Range Rover, so it's super comfortable.
Yeah.
It's got everything you need just about. But the thing, besides the ability of the car and the spectacular setup they had, they actually emptied out an old DC-10 aeroplane, and they put an obstacle course inside the aeroplane.
Oh, yes, I saw a picture.
So you drive up into the aeroplane, and you drive past a Defender parked inside the fuselage, and you drive down. And
very clever.
No, it was super impressive. And they had an off-road course as well, a normal dirt course, and they had, like I said, the dynamic handling bit. But the thing that interested me the most was I was chatting to the PR lady from Land Rover, a lovely lady called Leslie, who was telling me that part of the launch that we were on was a customer and dealer launch. They were there on the same day as we were there, and a lot of the customers refused to go on the off-road course, and they refused to drive through the airplane because some had a fear of heights or whatever. But a lot of them aren't interested in the off-road ability of their car at all. In the least. They don't even want to see that it can go off-road and can tackle some dirt and whatever, because they don't associate Range Rover with Land Rover, and they don't associate Range Rover with the massive heritage that it has to be able to go anywhere, and it will literally go anywhere, that car.
Amazing.
So I found that very interesting, and I wondered to myself, if that's the feedback they're getting now from their customers, how long is it going to be before they actually release a two-wheel drive Range Rover and dispense with the all-wheel drive system entirely and say, listen, it's not a highly valued thing for some of our customers. Here's a two-wheel drive option. And then you will see a lot of upset Range Rover drivers because it's not a Range Rover. It doesn't have four-wheel drive.
Yeah, no, well, listen, it's a very debatable kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, listen, it's done also incredibly well, the Range Rover Sport. Massively well.
Yep.
And may it continue its success. And it's also great to know that it is damn good off-road. It's just a pity people don't use it that
It is superb off-road. It's every bit as good as the last one, if not better, because it's now lighter and faster and more agile. So that car is available in South Africa now. Your options engine-wise, 5-litre supercharged V8, 375 kilowatts. The supercharged V6 that we drove, 250 kilowatts, and a 3-litre V6 turbo diesel as well. All come with an 8-speed auto transmission. Pricing starts 824,500 Rand. Top of the range, V8 supercharged HSE dynamic, 1.2 million Rand. Almost 1.3.
And that's only a couple of 100,000 Rand less than the autobiography Range Rover.
Well,
or is that at 1617?
I think I'm not quite sure what autobiography goes for. I think
Vogue or something.
Yeah, no, the top of the range Range Rover, I'm not 100% sure what the pricing is on that.
Not serious. Okay, this Friday, big launch. It's always massive anywhere in the world.
Yes.
The brand new Mercedes-Benz S-Class, which is maybe the definitive car in terms of technology.
Yeah, I find it interesting because Mercedes-Benz are punting it as, this is the follow-up to the best automobile in the world.
Yeah, so this is the bestest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The
more best.
Yeah, how you clarify that exactly is a bit beyond me, but that's how they say it. The best automobile in the world. So that launch is happening in the Cape. It's probably started, but we're on the Friday leg, so I'll be driving that car in the Cape on Friday. And it, as you say, it is a very big event for Mercedes-Benz because it is one of the world's finest cars. There's no doubt. There's not a lot of detail out yet because the launch is kind of only happening now. But I can tell you that the S-Class is the first vehicle in the world whose interior and exterior do without a single light bulb. Everything is LED, inside and out.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Out of all the things that you could talk about in an S-Class, that's the thing they chose to punt.
Yeah, that's that. There we go. Never mind the new engine.
Never mind the safety
technology
systems.
and this and the way that it goes around corners and does this or whatever.
Yeah.
No, we don't have any lights.
We use LEDs all over the place. Good on us.
Well done.
Yeah. More interesting than that, though, is there will be in the initial lineup in South Africa, it will have a petrol hybrid version, which will be the S400 hybrid, and a petrol model, the S500, and a diesel, the S350 BlueTech, and of course there will be an AMG version powered by a 5.5-litre V8 twin turbo, 430 kilowatts, 900 newton meters, none of it which you'll be able to use
ever
if the roads are even slightly damp. Because the wheels will
wheels just spin
no,
forever.
They won't even spin. They'll slip a little bit, and then the whole thing will just whoa, just hold on, just the whole thing about Mercedes-Benz. I do think, and I do like Mercedes. There's no doubt they make fantastic cars. But I remember driving a CL63 a few years ago, which has got 1,000 Newton meters of torque.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure that in their laboratories there at AMG, they go, we want 1,000 Newton meters. That is the goal. Whether it makes sense or not, it's irrelevant. Because I remember coming out of a traffic circle and a guy in a Mini Cooper S next to me, and he obviously thought it was a great idea to try take on this 1,000 Newton meter Mercedes-Benz. And as we came around, he was in the outside lane, I was in the inside lane. As we came around the traffic circle, I thought, please, I'll just smoke this little punk. Put my foot down. Nothing happened because there was just too much torque going through the rear wheels, and this Mini disappeared. Was gone.
Well, you see, and the problem is with their automatic gearboxes, it's not as though you can sit there and manually try and get into some other gear to get some kind of traction.
Mercedes-Benz gearboxes, don't get me started.
Anyway, okay.
That starts. That's on Friday, so I'll have a bit more info and a bit more impression for you next week.
All right, and then finally, Spikey, tell us what's coming up on RPM.
Coming up on RPM this week, we have scroll. The Mercedes-Benz CLA 45 AMG.
Must be mental.
I am looking forward to getting my hands on that car. Dion drove that car. I didn't. We've
be
also
mental.
got the GWM. What is it? The
The one we spoke about
yes,
the other
the
day.
one of the
that one.
the C20R. That's what it's called. The C20R.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
And we've got a Suzuki Vitara that got updated recently as well.
Oh, lovely.
Cool. And then just before I go, if anyone's got a spare 40 million rand, anyone?
Not today,
Sasha does.
unfortunately. Not today, yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Well,
Why?
you won't be able to buy yourself a limited edition Bugatti Veyron that they're releasing at the moment.
Oh, what
sorry.
a pity.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
damn.
it would be nice. So we're talking about 1,000 Newton meters for a Mercedes Benz. This thing's got 1,500 Newton meters,
Gee whiz.
883 kilowatts.
And you really need 1,500 newton
Yeah,
meters.
totally.
Otherwise, nothing works.
Yeah, so that
Brilliant.
they're releasing another one of their special editions. 3 of them they're making, 40 million rand a pop.
Oh, lovely. Spikey, always brilliant, my friend. Enjoy your trip down to Cape Town for the Mercedes-Benz launch.
Bye, donkey.
And we'll speak to you soon.
Lovely.
Cheers. Bye.
Gears. GearsOnBalls.co.za. Weekdays 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.